Storybook Brawl was nice enough to send me some dust codes, so I'm doing another giveaway. Stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can enter to win. What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we are going to be taking a look at a game that contains probably my single best turn ever in Storybook Brawl. Things get really crazy in this one. We get even crazier after that fact. We're going to be doing just Waddle things, and the game starts off pretty strong as well. We're going to be starting with Cindy plus Forbidden Fruit, so that way we can roll, try to hunt for some more animals. I don't particularly care about these ones, not enough to lock onto at least, and I'll wind up losing my first combat, so we're down to 35, but we have a really good shop here on turn 2. Shrink Spell, buy and sell this golden chicken is going to allow us to pick up both of these kitty cup purse and grab a tier 2 treasure. And I like needle nose daggers, I like bounty board. Both of those are kind of cool with the kitty cup purse that we have, but Skip's puzzle rune is way too good. I've been talking about that a lot recently, and no hero is it better on than Waddle, because you just get to churn through treasures on Waddle, and normally I'm skipping all the tier 2 treasures. However, when we find a Skip's puzzle rune, it gives you an interesting way to pivot into a totally different comp and just gain a bunch of XP and use that to get an early lead with Waddle, rather than looking for like the hat ball stuff that I typically try to do with the hero. Now we are going to wind up losing again, so down to 32 health, not the best place in the world to be, but we will be able to get some of that health back. We're going to take a Ring of Regeneration as our second treasure when we cast the Genie's Wish to complete the Cinderella on 2.2. It's a really early Cindy completion, and I don't really love any of those treasures for Waddle, but I just had to take them because we're trying to get this puzzle rune active, and then I roll into 2 blind mice. Really lucky early game, and believe it or not, this turn right here is not the best turn ever. There is a turn coming up that will surpass this. So I really think long and hard about the Sky Castle for this one, because Sky Castle could be really good for helping us complete the puzzle rune. Ultimately, I do decide I'm going to take the 6 of Shields. Unfortunately, I don't decide quick enough. Now, I think we lose this combat to my opponent's Humpty Dumpty regardless. Maybe we would have been able to do something. You know what? I'm fine. I'm going to shake it off. I'm going to pick up the 6 of Shields here. I'm going to be totally fine. I do consider the Sky Castle now that we are seeing this Romeo in the shop, but what I'm thinking is 6 of Shields looks really good alongside the Wicked Witch and the Goat. And I'm just going to pick up the 2 of those for this turn. Supporting the kitty cup purse seems really good. Getting some additional econ, I think, is really going to help us in this shop. This shop looks pretty good. Next turn, we could potentially pick up the prized pig plus the donkey, because we'll have 6 gold, and then the following turn, maybe we will try to cast the Wish Upon a Star. That could definitely be in our future. So that is kind of the plan, and we'll see what happens. If the kitty cup purse slays, that would give us 8 gold, so that would change some things. Maybe we would pick up some different units. Maybe I would just pick up Wish Upon a Star and the prized pig. We'll have to see if we do indeed get this kitty cup purse slay. Slightly more likely to with the falling stars, and we do get it. 6 of Shields being really clutch for us as well, allowing us to win this combat. So now we've got 8 gold to make use of this turn, and I think we gotta go for it. I think Wish Upon a Star and Prized Pig is just the way to go here to make use of all of this gold, because otherwise we're like picking up the donkey, the pig, and the Sherwood Sure Shot and then locking the spell, which isn't the best just gold efficiency. And I think that, you know, we just got all this gold from the kitty cup purse, might as well spend it. So that is the plan here. Gonna pick up this Wish Upon a Star and pick up this prized pig, and that is going to lead into what I think is my best turn of Storybook Brawl ever. Now, I'm cheating this definition a little bit, just a little bit here, bear with me. I'm going to count the next combat and the next shop as one turn cycle. Typically, a turn would be the shop plus the preceding combat. but we're going to talk about this next combat where I've got this Wish Upon a Star active, and then the following turn after that, I'm just going to, well, here it is. So we are going to start things out. We get our Slay with Kitty Cup Purse, which is really, really great for us. And then we just have good attacks here across the board, able to take out my opponent's Sherwood Sure Shot. It's really just going to come down to this donkey. And there's a pig inside the donkey for us. And we kill the pig and get a second Slay with the Kitty Cup Purse. So we have 4 extra gold from the Kitty Cup Purse, 2 extra gold from our pig, 1 extra gold from their pig, and the bonus XP from the Wish Upon a Star, and the 2 bonus XP from the Skip's Puzzle Rune. We also get to grab a crystal ball with that, which is probably the best treasure in the game, and now all of a sudden we're already level 5. So we can already start to roll for Aeon. I'm going to take a little bit of a break in rolling for Aeon to pick up a Lightning Dragon, because that seems really good to me. And then I'm also going to cast a Burning Palm on the Kitty Cup Purse. And then I'm going to throw in one more roll here, and I'm going to sell off my Blind Mouse and pick up another prized pig, just to be a little bit stronger for this turn even. But there we go. 4 XP in one turn, and a crystal ball, and a whole bunch of sweet goodies. I do consider casting this Earthquake here as well, but ultimately I think that it is just going to be more powerful for us to sell off the Blind Mouse, pick up the prized pig. That's going to give us a bunch of gold, which will help us roll for Aeon in future turns, because I do think that we are still really, really strong for this point in the game. So just trying to have extra gold can kind of fuel our crystal ball for the time being, and then eventually will allow us to get our hands on an Aeon, which can let us just do some absolutely insane stuff now that we've got the crystal ball. So what is this? 6 extra gold this turn. We didn't slay with the Kitty Cup Purse, but we had both of our prized pigs survive. So it's pretty sweet. I'm going to pick up a Lightning Dragon because it seems good for us. And then at that point, I'm thinking I probably want to backline the Kitty Cup Purse because the Lightning Dragons will attack. It's just so much less likely that the Kitty Cup Purse will actually get to slay. So for that reason, I wind up backlining the Kitty Cup Purse, at least temporarily, because I do think that I want this Sporko and this Spellweaver. I am going to want to pick up some mages at some point here, so I wind up picking up those. I feel like those fuel each other very well and allow us to play a strong board right now. Again, we might not be getting the Slay this turn, but I do still think this was a very, very powerful pickup. And now next turn will be the turn that we are rolling for A. Let's find out what this Trophy Hunter is up to. I do think that Lightning Dragons in general are going to be pretty good against Trophy Hunter, and they do some nice work for us here. We are also trying to deny my opponent their Wish Upon a Star, and we are able to do that while also still walking away with 1 upgraded prize pig. So 4 extra gold for this turn, not too shabby. And now we will just hope to add an Aeon to this board sometime soon. I am going to pick up a Wizard's Familiar because we are Wonder Waddle, but notably I am rolling past the Baba Yaga there, and of course I am going to pick up Blind Mouse as well because that's just such a cheap way to look for tier 4 treasures. And from there we find the Aeon, so that winds up being really good for us. We're able to pick that up quite quickly, and I kind of also want to now backline both of my Lightning Dragons, or at least only frontline one of them. Again, just being that if we only have Aeon and Kitty Cup Purse as our frontline units, it's just so much more likely that Aeon gets attacked into, and I'd really like that Aeon to start slaying as soon as possible. If it doesn't slay this turn, not a huge deal. Next turn will be the turn where we really try to soup that up and see where we can go with it. And my Lightning Dragons get totally owned by this Sultak, but Aeon does get the slay. So we're going to take a little bit of damage. We're going to give a little bit of XP to Evella. but our spells cost 1 less this turn. We'll pick up another Aeon, so we get to start really scaling this board now, and then we'll feed Cinderella to the Kraken, pick up another Blind Mouse that doesn't give us Forking Rod, but Krampus's Sleigh could be good here, and we never needed the health. I never cared about the health from Ring of Regeneration. We're definitely strong enough at this point. We just picked it up to fill a slot so that we could replace the Skips puzzle rune there. And from there, we will wind up putting in the Spellweaver, and I'll put in the Prize Pig too. I think that that is just a larger unit, and I like the idea of tripling up on this Wizard's Familiar, so I'm going to sell off of the Prized Pig there too. Then I get to pick up Great Library Card, and the plan here is to just float Great Library Card for the turn. That way I get to make use of the 6 of Shields for this combat, and then next turn I will pick up the Great Library Card, and then we'll also have the treasure from Krampus for my opponent as well. So that is the plan. Aeon gets the Slay looking good, and second Aeon also lined up well to Slay. That is going to be really good for us. I don't even care if I lose this combat, but actually I think I win. It's going to be really weird here with all of the ranged units. Apologies, my camera froze for a second. Let's make sure that doesn't happen again. But I pick up the Great Library Card, and awkwardly, my opponent last round, I believe, did not even have any treasures. So we didn't get to steal anything. That winds up being a little bit awkward, but now we're just trying to make our second Aeon as big as we possibly can. I do consider picking up another Sporko before we grab this, before we start casting more spells, and that'll be helpful for us later if we've just already grown this Sporko. Then potentially we'll triple it down the line, and that'll make Sporko even bigger, because Sporko isn't going to scale as quickly as Spellweaver, but if you have 2 Sporkos both scaling and then you combine them later, winds up being a pretty large unit. So I like doing that where I can. Definitely still interested in picking up a Baba Yaga. And then, like I was going to say, any additional stats I always like to put on the second Aeon, just so that way it could potentially stick around and also slay. Not going to work out for us in this combat, but the idea is there. And we get to steal a Forking Rod. So that is pretty awesome. That is going to let us really start to pop off here. We'll grab some health, and then we'll also pick up a Scion of the Storm and a Baba Yaga. I think that it is definitely still early enough to pick that up. We'll throw in this Scion as well, and I'm feeling pretty good about our chances this game. I will feed the Kitty Cup Purse to the Kraken, and then just cast some more spells on Aeon before tripling it, and that'll give us a tier 5 treasure, which is just going to be a skip. There's no mage treasures on tier 5 at this point, but it is still just nice to be able to triple up on that Aeon and just have a bunch of stats in one place. From here, there's a few different interesting options. I do like the Pigomorph. The question is, do I want the Wizard's Familiar? And we don't really have that much space on the board, so I was definitely debating whether or not I wanted to spend the time to pick up this Wizard's Familiar or not. Maybe we will just grab like another Storm King, at which point we might not want it, but I do wind up locking onto it. It only costs 2 gold plus half a gold from not rolling here, so I feel like it's worth it to try to pick up. And maybe the half a gold from a roll is actually worth a pretty significant amount when you consider we also have the Great Library Card, so we could see 2 new spells in each new shop. Kind of interesting to think about that there. And then I'll wind up tripling on the Spellweaver, so at this point I will need to put in some more mages, and kind of glad that we have the Wizard's Familiar at this point in the game. We'll put that in soon, assuming we can find another copy of it. I did wind up True Love's Kissing my other Wizard's Familiar, just so that way we could start trying to send that up the chain with the spells there. And I do kind of like Hercules. I think that that could have been an interesting pickup as well. And we'll end this turn by casting a what's that called? A Merlin's Test to just get a little bit more stats on Aeon. And I wind up playing the Sporko over the Wizard's Familiar as well. Chupacabra, not going to be too bad. It's going to buff both of our ranged mages in the backline, so it is pretty reasonable. Being supported by a Baba Yaga as well will lend a pretty high amount of stats. So we'll end up getting a win here against the Ghost, and we're doing really, really well with Crystal Ball, Fork, plus Aeon Baba Yaga, plus a great library card. I'm going to wind up selling off the Wizard's Familiar and then dreaming, and this is a double dream, so I wind up first picking up Miri to remove that from my potential hero pool, and then I dream into the mask, which is going to give me 2 more dreams. And ultimately, I think that this is a mistake because now I've got 6 gold that I'm just unable to spend for this turn. I do generally like dreaming on Wonder Waddle after I've picked up all of the lower tier treasures that I want. However, I probably could have dreamed at the end of one of my turns and just wound up rolling into it after I cast a few more targeted spells. The reason I did this was because I was picking up the Storm King and I was like, all right, well, I might not have that much gold this turn anyways, but I wind up leaving a bunch on the table here. I lock onto True Love's Kiss plus the Croc spell. That's going to allow me to send Chupacabra fully up the chain into an upgraded tier 6 unit, and then we'll use the Croc spell on one of our Storm Kings to start putting those inside Crocs and hunting for some tier 6 treasures. The Chupacabra is going to give us a Doom Breath before I Mix-a-Wizzle that into a Bear Stain, and then we are going to put the Storm King inside of a Croc. We're going to put another Storm King inside of a Croc as well, and then I'm going to use Evil Twin to pick up another copy of Aeon, because we're actually kind of down a unit. Bear Stain is a mage, interestingly enough, but I feel like spending for another Aeon could still be good, especially because our first Aeon could get attacked or something, so it's not too crazy to want that. Then I'm going to put this Ashwood Elm inside of a Croc as well. That's going to give me 9th Book of Merlin, so pretty sweet turn overall. Ashwood Elm doesn't really work super well inside the Croc, but it doesn't really matter either. And then I'm going to dream again, and this time transform into the Sphinx. So now I don't really need that other Aeon either, because all of my spells are going to be free, and that's going to work out really, really well with the Forking Rod. Plus, we're huge because we just put a bunch of Storm Kings inside of this Croc. You can see the Ashwood Elm is still big, even though it's not getting its trigger because it has a bunch of attack from when it was a Wizard's Familiar, and then we've got all those Storm Kings, and we're casting spells every single time that we do stuff as well. So all of this is going very well. Not going to go for the True Love's Kiss, still potentially holding out for that Sporko triple, though I don't know at this point if I'd even waste 4 gold to pick up a Sporko triple. So just going to cast a bunch of spells on our second Aeon, like we do, try to get that up to be a little bit bigger. And then we find an Evil Twin. This is double cast, so that's really great to be able to triple that. It basically just means that Evil Twin gained us gold at this point. Yeah, because we're just skipping the treasure. And then I'm going to put Sporko inside of a Croc. I'm going to cast a few more spells, ending this turn with over 10 gold, or 10 gold exactly. And I just wind up dreaming on the last possible second of the turn because I won't want to dream on another turn where I could potentially end my spell loop with like some combat related spell. We deny ourselves the Ashwood Elm here, but that is actually great, the order that our units are spawning, that we're guaranteed, or at least more likely, to get those 2 Storm Kings, so that's pretty good for us. I'm going to go for the Evil Twin on the Aeon again. Really, that's just going to give us 2 Aeons so we can sell those off, but they are pumping our team, so these Aeons actually are doing something. Now every spell that we cast is giving all of our units +6 attack. We're going to bring that back down to just +5 as we croc one of our benched Aeons to pick up a Mimic Chest. So now we've got Mimic Chest in 9th book. Doing quite well this game. Mimic Chest 9th book is definitely like one of the strongest treasure combinations in the game that you can have, and we're going to end things off with a spinning gold, and that'll probably end things off for the game. Interestingly, probably should put the Sporko earlier. Sporko should probably just be my first unit even, but I do want to backline the Croc because it's just got so much stuff in it, and that's going to basically guarantee that we are going to be able to get a win here. My Aeons are still slaying, so that's great too. My opponent going to steal 2 of my Aeons even, but we just have so many spells that we take my opponent out without them ever even knowing what's inside the croc. So pretty silly ending to it. They don't know that that croc has, I think, okay, so it's got an Aeon, a Sporko, and a croc, and that croc has, well, each of these are hidden behind multiple crocs because we were forking routing those crocs, but then it also has a Scion of the Storm, and an upgraded Ashwood Elm. And in addition, all of my other units on the board are casting 2 spells when they die, and a few of those units inside the crocs were as well. So pretty fantastic finish, pretty amazing start to this game, I have to say. And also, yeah, I think one of the best single turns, stretching that term a little bit, of Storybook Brawl that I've ever gotten to play. Thank you guys very much for watching, and here's the details for my giveaway this week. Just leave a comment below that includes the word good on any of my videos. New week, new code word, and you'll be entered into a chance to win a 4,000 dust code. The reason that I say to include the word, that way I can differentiate between the people just leaving a comment and those that are actually interested in the dust, to make sure that it goes to a person that will appreciate it. And there's no limit to how many times you can enter. You can go back and comment on some of my previous videos. I've been uploading daily Storybook Brawl videos for the past 7 or 8 months at this point, so I'm sure there is some sweet content that you have yet to see. And yeah, you can enter multiple times. I will do a new code next week. And the other thing that I wanted to say is that if a bunch of people enter, I will give away more codes. So that's just going to be limited by how many people are entering and how many people are commenting. Let's get this channel to over 1,000. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.